What is it going to do now?
Repetition is the key.
Okay. Gather round, kiddies. Fred had, because Kevin's going to tape this and I'll be on the Tonight Show with
YouTube.
Conan O'Brien.
No, but when I forget it, he can play it for me.
I'll talk to Jerry because he's never heard this before. Fred's house, this was the farm that was just north of Ed's place there. On the west side of the house was a farrowing pasture. And that's where the pigs raise their young out there, and we'd pull wagons out, and the sow would have their pigs under a wagon or whatever. And it was surrounded by woven wire, and then for the hog wire, and then on the top of that was 3 strands of barbed wire. Every night I would take a couple buckets of corn out to these sows, and the thing was, after you listen to Fred's lecture, is crawl over the fence, take the corn out into the middle of the field, and then dump the corn. Don't dump the corn over the side of the fence. So I take them. And the sows, they were smarter than Fred and I combined probably at that time. And every night that they knew that they hear those buckets clanging, and it was going to be time to get something to eat. And so I loaded up these buckets with corn. But we left a billfold in the house and a good pair of jeans in the house. I only had a good pair of jeans to go to town in, and Fred wanted to go to town. And so I put on my jeans and my billfold in the jeans, and I thought, boy, I'm in a kind of a rush here. I am just going to throw corn over the side of the fence. And so Fred had these geese. They were those gray leg geese there. And he was really fond of these geese. He never let on that he was fond of these geese, but he was really fond of these geese. And so I threw the corn, it was on the cob. It was dried corn on the cob. I threw the corn over the fence, and those sows are right at it, and of course they bite into it, and little kernels of corn pop off there. And these 2 geese come walking by the fence, and this one goose looks over and sees that corn, and it stuck its neck to the fence to get one of them kernels of corn, and this hog grabbed it and just a boom.
Boy, that's a real nice
It did.
Oh, I'm inspired.
It popped that goose through a square of wire that was that big around. And those hogs had that goose eating. It didn't take them. A minute or 2. So Steve was going like whoops. so I went and got some more corn, and crawled over the fence and took it off, and then we went to town.
And these are geese that Fred likes.
Yeah, he was really fond of them. Fred was really fond of his ducks and his doves and his chickens. But these geese, he only had 2 of them, but he was really
So it's the only
really fond of
2 minus 1.
So anyway, we went to town, and I didn't say anything, which I might have said something, but I didn't mention the incident. So Fred, I'd be sitting there kind of half dozing off or doing whatever I was thinking of, and Fred, you had the most irritating habit.
No. He probably had more than one, but I'd be
sitting there, you know, because like we go to the movie at Clarinda or someplace like that, and by the time we got back, I was asleep anyway. You know, Ed did the same thing. Ed would take us to the movie or something and come back. But anyway, Fred, you know, you'd be kind of dozing off, and then he'd slap you on the leg like that and go, Steve! You know, so we went to the movie and did whatever, and I got up and put my good jeans away and everything away that I was supposed to put away. And about a day or so later, Fred comes on and he says, Steve! He says, have you seen that other goose? I'm going, what other goose? And he says, well, we have 2 geese around here, right? And I says, well, yeah, we got 2 geese around here. You know, he says, well, I'm only seeing 1. How many do you see? You know, and I'm going, well, I only see 1 too. He says, have you seen that other goose? You know, and I went, no, I haven't seen that other goose. And I think and I never did tell him. I never did tell Fred whatever happened to that other goose. And there was a reason for this, and I don't know if I told this at the funeral, because I wanted to relate that story because other people hadn't said something. But the lesson of the story is that our grandfather, Art Erickson, had a rocking chair. Did you ever hear this story? And anyway, I don't know if it was Ed and Fred and Earl, or 2 of the boys, or all 3 of the boys weren't supposed to play with that rocking chair. But anyway, they did. And they broke the rocker on it. And so instead of just putting the rocker together, like, you know, they decided to go out in the barn and get some nails and nail the rocker together. And so they did. And then, of course, Art came in and sat in the rocker, leaned back in the rocker, and the rocking chair broke, you know. And he would have thought that he broke it
But
had they not driven the nails in it. But since they had driven the nails in it to try to fix the rocker, he figured out that the boys were, you know, but they all told me that, you know, for some great reason. So when it got to the time of the geese, you know, and Fred's favorite goose, that's what he did, and, you know, I was totally responsible for that. But that's the story of the geese. I don't know why you brought that up, but I probably put it in different context at the funeral, but that's what happened.
That's a good example of lessons learned.
Yes.
And had you tried to reassemble the goose, nails, Fred would have been on to you.
What was amazing is nobody, and I wouldn't have believed it either, because I talked to some other people about this long after I wasn't going to get in trouble anymore. But that goose went through a square woven wire like that was that big.
Have you ever given birth?
What?
Yeah.
Well, not me. But I don't know about your pelvic exam, but if it's not made out of woven wire, you know. But it was an amazing thing, and they cleaned right up on him. But I never told
any
that.
evidence.
Fred was down that stream that the beavers dammed. You know, I'm assuming all you guys knew about Fred walking around the fields going, God damn the goddamn son of a bitch, and goddamn son of a bitch, and you weren't familiar with that?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, you ought to have seen Fred shin himself with something. He'd walk clear around the field, going, you know, he'd be mad like that. And so when that goose went up, and probably Ed or something said, well, Coon probably got it. That's where I found out he was really fond of it, because he went that whole creek bottom down there, he got the gun, you know. God damn,